Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining this informational webinar. We at DCAL are excited to announce two new grant opportunities open exclusively to family child care learning homes. We are going to be talking about the LITTLE grant, which stands for Lifting Infants and Toddlers Through Language-Rich Environments, as well as the SEEDS grant, Social Emotional Early Development Strategies.
So in order to participate in either of these grants, you must have a 2 or 3 quality rated star rating. And during participation, you must maintain or increase that rating. You must agree to participate in ongoing professional development and coaching with an assigned decal specialist. And you also must agree to participate in all evaluation measures. Now, anyone who's interested in applying for these grants, you may only choose one to apply to. So you may apply to either the Little grants or the Seeds grants.
So there are some common kind of components across both grants. So just as a heads up, if you should choose to apply for one of the grants and you were to be accepted, then you will participate in some intensive professional development that'll center on your grant's particular topic area. You will also receive coaching and support either from an infant toddler specialist who works with the Little Grant or an inclusion behavior support specialist who works with the SEEDS grant. Additionally, those providers who are accepted will receive classroom materials and supplies that are specifically tailored to the grant topic area, and you will be required to participate in any sort of surveys or interviews or measures that we are using to collect data for the purposes of feedback and evaluation.
So let's talk a little bit more about the professional development that you will receive with both of these grants. First off, we have professional development institutes, which are there's 4 of them over the course of the grant period. There are 3-hour trainings that are going to be offered virtually on Saturdays. For the little grants, we'll be looking at topics such as increasing interactions and supporting children's participation in book reading. And for the SEEDS grants, it'll focus on strategies to support child social emotional wellness, as well as promoting positive behaviors. In addition to those institutes, you'll also be participating in weekly virtual coaching sessions with those decal specialists that were previously mentioned. So the specialists will work with you to identify strengths as well as areas of improvement around your classroom practices. You will do some goal setting and action planning, as well as reflect on any data collected to improve those practices.
So with regards to funding, this is kind of a unique professional development opportunity. Participants who are chosen will receive benefits valued at $2,100. This includes a technology package that equates to up to $600, a materials package at $1,000, and then there will be stipend payments for completion of each of the 4 institutes, so those Saturday training institutes. So since there are 4 institutes, those are paid out at $125 per institute. And with this particular opportunity, we're working with Communities for Children. They are going to be kind of the partner entity that is helping us to get your materials selected and over to you. They will also be the ones that are distributing the stipends for completion of the institutes upon completion and proof of completion. So there will be no direct funds that are provided from DeCal to the providers who are accepted to participate in this grant opportunity.
So let's look more at the differences between the 2 grants. So first off, with the little grant, one of the key differences is that you'll have the opportunity to participate in LENA. And LENA is a language environmental analysis. It's a a program by which you'll use this device and the vest that you see on the screen. So on a weekly basis, the children in your care will, with parent permission, of course, will wear the vest. And on each vest, there is a small pocket that the device will go into. Now, that device is considered like a talk pedometer. So it will capture things like the number of adult words that are spoken in your environment, things like the conversational turns that you have with the children in your environment. And with that, for each weekly recording, there will be a report that you'll receive. So you'll be able to see the differences between how much talk there is at 9 a.m. versus how much talk there is at 2 p.m., and be able to set goals around increasing that talk, as well as you'll get be able to see specifically whether you're talking to Johnny more than you're talking to Sarah, and be able to then set goals around that as well. So that's a huge part of the difference that you'll get participating in the little grant, and your infant toddler specialist would guide you through that process.
So for the Seeds grant, training that will be received and the coaching that will be delivered is all related to effective strategies that can promote social and emotional wellness in children and that can be really effective in minimizing challenging child behaviors. So all of the training and coaching that providers receive through the Seeds grant is rooted in something called the pyramid model of social and emotional development. There's going to be a primary focus on universal practices. So, what are those things that we know young children need in place in order to be as socially and emotionally well as possible? So, we will look at strategies to promote nurturing and responsive relationships, how to really set up the environment in a way that is a high quality, supportive learning environment. We'll also spend some time talking about targeted social and emotional support. So, how can we be teaching young learners social skills, friendship skills? How can we be promoting emotional literacy and self regulation, emotional regulation? And then we will also spend a little bit of time talking about positive behavior support approaches. So, how can we use preventative strategies to minimize challenging behaviors? How can we use reinforcement based strategies to promote those positive, more adaptive behaviors?
Now let's talk about how to apply. So you should have received an email that gives you more information about this wonderful opportunity, as well as the links. So this year, the both applications are Microsoft Forms that you can find obviously at the links that are listed here. And it's important to remember that you must complete those in their entirety in order to be considered and for your application to be reviewed. Also, as you're completing your application, know that you'll have to submit a W-9 to pssinfo@decal.ga.gov. Um, and also, you would have received a copy of the grant guidelines along with your email. So I would suggest that you go and review those a little more thoroughly so you have more information as you're making your decision as to whether you want to apply to the Little or the Seeds grant. Now, it's important to note that the application deadline is April the 19th. So please make sure that you get everything in, including that W-9, by the 19th. And once the application window closes, you will receive notice of your grant status, whether you've been selected or not, by email by May the 5th.
So you may have some additional questions or just questions related to each specific grant. So if you have questions related to the Little grant, feel free to reach out through email to infant toddler at decal.ga.gov. If you've got specific questions about the SEEDS grant, please reach out to inclusion@decal.ga.gov. And like Nicole said, all eligible family child care learning home providers should have received an email with the grant guidelines attached. So do take some time to read through those. We will answer your questions as soon as possible, and we are really excited to start receiving applications. Thanks, everyone.